Welcome back to Out and About Today. I'm Pam Wheeler. Our next guests are community coordinators at Vanderbilt's HIV vaccine program. Here with all the details on the HIV antibody program is Vic Sorrell and Lola Conway. Welcome, guys, to the show. On this very special day, we're going to give great information, or you all will, but it's also Lola's birthday.
That's what we should lead with.
We should just talk about your plans tonight.
And there's going to be a 1-800 number for them to send the
Are you going to divulge your
jewels
plans
and
for your birthday?
cocktails my way. No.
Okay, let's get serious, and then we'll go back to birthday.
Sure.
You haven't been on in a while. Tell us about the program. Give us a little history to our viewers who might not know so much about it.
Well, we've been doing HIV vaccine research at Vanderbilt since '87.
Okay.
So, and in that time, enrolled about a little over 1,300 study participants. And right now, we're very excited because what we're doing is a study on some HIV antibodies, or one in particular, a broadly neutralizing antibody called VRC01. The study's called AMP. Antibody-mediated prevention. So it's not a vaccine study. We're not giving an investigational vaccine.
Okay.
But instead, we're following people over 22 months and giving them some IV infusions that contain this broadly neutralizing HIV antibody.
So this antibody was found in a person who was a long-term non-progressor. They had contracted HIV, but they never got sick. Their body managed the disease. They never required antiretroviral medication. So researchers were able to go in and replicate these antibodies, and this is what we're using, this broadly neutralizing antibody.
So your participants will get this infused in them, and
Yes.
then you just study? Is that right?
And
I mean,
draw
I don't
their blood.
understand all this.
Sure. So over time, they will get the infusions, and then in between their infusions, they come in for blood draws. We'll also draw some blood when they come in for their infusions too. But over time, we can track and see in the lab setting whether or not they would potentially be protected if they were exposed to HIV. So there's no HIV in the infusions. We definitely do not expose our participants to HIV at any time during the process.
At any of your trials? And,
Correct.
Right.
All the
And we
participants
only-
are HIV negative.
Yes, all participants are HIV negative at the time that they enroll in the study, and provided that they don't contract HIV from someone who is infected or by sharing needles with someone who's infected, then they remain HIV negative throughout the study.
Are there some misconceptions out there in the community? Because I've had friends that have participated in trials.
Yeah.
I know this isn't the same thing, but that maybe deter them from getting involved. And can you debunk any of those right now?
I mean, I think that's one of the biggest ones. People think there must be an HIV risk involved in being in the study, and there's zero. As far as the study products, they do not contain any live or killed HIV whatsoever.
Sometimes I think the hardest part is explaining to friends and family who don't understand the scientific process, the research involved, and we're always happy to give them literature or invite them in for an education session and let them know what's involved, what the commitment is involved.
That's really good to know. Let me ask you this. So if somebody wanted to participate, are you still looking for people right now?
Absolutely.
How-
Several more, as a matter of fact. We, I think, just enrolled number 21, and we need about 87 here, as far as we know. So we just started in April, so we know it's going to take a minute. So people can, get in touch with us by calling 615-322-HOPE. They can also check the website, which is ampstudy.org, ampstudy.org. Something else people are interested, often surprised to learn, is that all of our volunteers are reimbursed for their time and travel.
Yeah, tell me about that. What do you get out?
Well, basically, every time they come to our
Besides helping the
clinic-
world.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, there's
Besides
that.
great
That's number
karma.
one. That's
Exactly.
number one.
There's, your altruism button is definitely pushed, and in the study, but also every time you come to our clinic, you're reimbursed a certain amount. And when you get these infusions, you're with us a little longer, so the reimbursement's around $125 for each of those visits. And then for the blood draw visits, you're in and out pretty quick, so it's around $40.
I'm curious, when I started looking at this, what is the vibe in the community about how important HIV prevention is, how important these studies are? Is it still, because HIV isn't the death sentence that it was decades ago, does that hurt some of the research? I'm just curious, what's the vibe out there?
Quickly, I'd like to point out that people do still die due to complications of HIV. They really do.
Sure.
Sadly. However, the medications are wonderful. Many people would argue even miraculous. But sometimes people have other health conditions that prevent them from taking certain medications, or they have certain side effects that their bodies just aren't able to manage the medications the way that most people do. I think one very exciting thing with regards to HIV prevention in the community is the introduction of PrEP.
Yeah, tell me about that, because when was that introduction and what does that involve?
PrEP is a drug called Truvada by Gilead, and if taken once a day, it can ward off HIV if exposed.
Right. And it's in clinical studies, it's been shown to be over 90% effective if it's taken as it's prescribed. And one interesting thing is that Gilead, the manufacturer of the drug, is providing PrEP, the actual drug itself, free of charge to all of the study participants who enroll in AMP, should they be interested in using that as an HIV prevention method. And that applies to all of the study sites all over the country. And we're talking 2,700 people.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that's amazing. So, but if you're not participating, which I know you need more participants, so I'm not trying to discourage that.
Sure.
But how easy is it to get your hands on PrEP?
You know, it's getting easier and easier, especially here. Of course, you know, your primary care physician can prescribe it if they're willing to. Also, Planned Parenthood is a great resource right here in our community. And they offer their services on a sliding scale, so hopefully, you know, it's something that anybody who wants to be able to be on PrEP, they can get access to it.
And this is not just for men who have sex with men or transgender individuals.
Correct.
There's a lot of heterosexual women that might have trouble negotiating sex with their partners, safe sex with their partners. That's something that they could consider, especially, you know, one of a growing population is the heterosexual African American female population. So.
I was just going to say that folks are perfectly welcome to call us if they need direction.
Let's get your number again because we're almost out of time.
615-322-HOPE. 615-322-HOPE. Yep.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Much.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank
and you'll
you.
be back again because you'll need more people.
Anytime.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right.
Thanks,
thank you.
Pam.
Coming up, Chuck will have a preview of TPAC's upcoming season. The Entertainment Outlook is next.